You know, I've never seen so many pro pickup truck channels be so negative or hoping that diesel emission systems stay around. I find that extremely interesting. It's like a person that's being held in a prison camp, for example, during war and cheering on your captors. Make that make sense. So what is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage, and I got some huge news. I spoke with 3 different United States representatives today. Not from my district, but on videos that I've made and talked about. And I feel wholly inadequate to be a voice or to do what I'm about to do. I'm going to Washington, D.C. Yeah. I'm going to go have conversations with a couple of different legislators on the main focus, and that was one of the reasons why this congressman reached out to me, was diesel exhaust fluid. And I'm no scientist. I can't tell you what it does for NOx and how the chemical reactions do that. All I can tell you is what the economic cost is for the consumer. When you have a light that lights up like this on a brand new Ram 3500, can you imagine having a brand new truck that has less than 30,000 miles on it, right? In this case, I believe it was like 9,000 miles or whatever. But let's say, it's a brand new truck, and your diesel exhaust fluid system fails. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. And I know what you're going to say, that's a lemon law claim. Yeah. Except these are, especially the 3500 dually, the way you set it up when you order it, it's a specially ordered truck. People spend money for those, but they also put them to work. And the problem I run into here is, outside of just the economical standpoint of diesel exhaust fluid being put onto these vehicles and how unreliable the system is, and before you get into my comments and go, they're reliable, TK, it's great for the environment. Fuck you. Let me say that right now. They're not. They cost consumers thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars, because guess what? A lot of the times, like this consumer is lucky, failed while he's under warranty. But a lot of times they fail out of warranty. And when these systems fail out of warranty, they are prohibitively expensive. I mean, $15,000 to replace or fix these systems. Well, you got to pay to play, TK. Yeah, and your mom can grab her friggin' ankles and get clapped from the back. But we ain't talking about that. You shouldn't, if you buy a truck that's already prohibitively expensive as it is, right? You're spending $105,000 to $115,000 for one of these 3500s built the way you want, right? And I'm talking, Laramie, maybe Laramie long, a nice 3500 dually, right? Because you're gonna be spending time in that truck, pulling whatever you're pulling back and forth to the track. Maybe you work at a farm. Maybe you're pulling cattle back and forth up and down a mountain, whatever. You want that investment to last. That's people aren't buying these trucks like every year. They're buying these trucks for, 8 to 10 years, and they need to get that use out of those vehicles. People bought diesels and have been buying diesels for so many years because they're more reliable than gas, supposedly. My 3500, right? The one that I talk about on occasion, my 3500 Chevy. When I gave that to the tow company next to me, because they lost a rig and they were going to be hurting for their business, and I honestly didn't drive it as much anymore. I had like 490,000 miles on that truck. And the only thing I ever had to replace on there was regular suspension components, because that was normal, tires, and I did an injection pump, a fuel injector pump or something, or diesel injection pump. I did it at a dealer. It was like $3,500 to get it done. That's the money I spent. That truck was ultra reliable. I could pull whatever the hell I wanted with that truck. I could drive it coast to coast, city to city, state to state. Never had a friggin' problem out of that truck, ever. And even when the injection pump was going bad, I could be going down the highway and should just stall. I'd put it in neutral, start it back up, put it back in drive, and keep going. So these new systems, and we're only talking about the cost part right now. There's actual scientific studies right now, since everybody wants to be, the environment, the environment, the environment. DEF may be more harmful to the environment. Diesel exhaust fluid could be more harmful to the environment than NOx. Yeah, don't believe me? Google it. Look what diesel exhaust fluid does to bees. Newsflash, we're humans. I love living on this planet. If the bees go away, or if they all get retarded as they are getting right now because of diesel exhaust fluid in areas where it's used heavily, nothing gets pollinated, meaning no produce, no food, nothing's getting pollinated because the bees are, which way did they go, George? Which way did they go? They don't know what the hell's going on. And look, don't take my word for it. Look it up. Google it. Sometimes you could have great intentions, and maybe diesel exhaust fluid does help when it comes to NOx gas, right? But the environmental retards are acting like there's more diesel vehicles than gas vehicles on the road. Not the case. Diesel is usually much more expensive than gas, and people don't buy them. Diesel fuel usually costs more money than gas as well. So people buy gasoline cars, and now EVs. Having all this extra crap on it because, harmful emissions. And I love that people are like, well, you can't stand next to a deleted diesel truck exhaust pipe and not get sick. Yeah, and I really want to say something super offensive here, but I'm going to restrain. Because I was going to be like, yeah, you could also blow somebody like Magic Johnson and probably catch a disease. But you get what I'm saying. There's common sense needs to be used here. No shit. If I sat next to my Cadillac STS and just breathed in my exhaust pipe, I'd probably die of carbon monoxide poisoning. Like, nobody's doing that. Using that as a, well, you can't stand that. No shit. We're not stupid. But it's about using common sense, okay? You know, people want to complain about, the prices of everything are going up. Well, no crap. You want to know why prices of everything are going up? Because the maintenance cost on fleets of semi-trucks has tripled in the last 7 years. Tripled maintenance cost. And that's, I don't care who Snyder, JB Hunt, Prime, and look, I'm not a driver. I'm just telling you publicly available stats that you can Google and look up yourself. As this continues to happen, guess what? Prices keep going up. If it costs more money for those semi-truck fleets to deliver the goods that you buy every day, guess where that cost is going? It's going into the transport. It costs more money for them to deliver the product. You're going to pay more money for the product. It's common sense. Duh. So I don't want to hear about inflation this and this is that. Okay, well, we could solve all that like this. They're voting today in Congress on a couple of different Congressional Review Acts. But outside of Congressional Review Acts, this is why I feel like going to D.C. and having these conversations with these Congress people is important. And I say people because it's one female, two males. Because, and if you want to go, you're invited. I would love to have some people there in D.C. that actually know about these trucks and systems to have those conversations with me, with these Congress people, because I feel that if we have this conversation and we actually get into it and legislation is proposed to ban diesel exhaust fluid or make them completely change the formula or whatever the hell it is that they're using. But I'd like to ban it. We could make some serious change on making these trucks, these vehicles, more reliable, bringing down costs for everybody on everything. And I think that's just common sense. Some of us have it, some of us don't. I already know what the comments are going to say. Oh, you just hate the environment. Yeah, I sure do. All my EVs, right? Yep, I must hate the environment. That's why I have EVs, because those batteries are horrible on the environment. Let's get into that conversation. I'm not against the environment. You know, I'm pro clean air, clean water, but I'm also pro common sense. And a lot of this other crap, we need to reevaluate it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you're like me, as always, stay petty, my friends. If you like the thumbnail, it's not the first time I've been to Congress. But I'm probably not going to bring the green monster this time. I think we're going to bring... I have a good friend here in town that has a deleted Duramax. I think we're going to show up with a nice truck. Stay petty, my friends.